Let's start with Ben.
Well, if you're interested in, I would probably try to go to get together a portfolio of your work and start showing it around to people. Go to conventions, talk to, find out the submission policies of different publishers. Or you could go the self-published route, which a lot of people have been doing these days, and see if you can create a market for yourself that way.
The best advice I've ever heard a professional give, and unfortunately I can't remember who it was at this time because I've done so many hundreds and hundreds of conventions, but I heard them tell a young man, if you want to be an artist, the best thing you can do is draw every day because you have 10,000 really awful drawings in you. And the sooner you draw them, the sooner you can get on to the good ones. And I thought that was the best advice ever.
Get them out of your system.
Or you could just buy your way in.
Terry Moore style.
Yeah. It depends on what you want to draw. If you want to draw hero stories, if your whole focus is on Marvel DC things, you need to gear yourself and train yourself for that. Versus if you want to be, it depends on what your focus is. It's really different paths. For instance, if you want to draw superhero characters for the superhero companies, you need to train yourself to draw people without needing reference, to learn how to draw all the things that they draw, like buildings and skyscrapers and perspective, and start going to the conventions because a lot of them happen very close to you in town. And one thing that helped me when I was getting in was I realized that when I didn't want to do comics as a hobby anymore, I wanted to do it as a profession. I realized that I needed to get as serious about it as if I wanted to be a doctor. I wouldn't want to go to a doctor and find out that he had attitude and maybe he had just, only knew this but didn't do that.
Cheated in med school.
Yeah. So the more professionals I met, the more I found that even like the old guys were still very enthusiastic and they were still trying to learn, and that they had devoted themselves as if they were trying to be the CEO of a company. They had spent that much time trying to learn how to draw correctly and all that. And the truth is, for all of us, you do best what you do most. So if you want to be the best thing in your life is what you draw, then that needs to be what you do most. And if you do that, the world, it's amazing how many obstacles get out of your way once you just start momentum. And when people know what your goals are, so many people are wanting to help you. They keep you in mind. Even when you're not around, if they see something that reminds them of you or a contact, they think, oh, I should turn them on to the guy with the red hat. And, so things the universe starts trying to help you, so you just
can't
have
be
to
credited with that name, guy with the red hat, in your comic book.
No, I've already got that URL, so that's mine. So just, go for it. How do they put it in one word?
In addition to the conventions, like Terry was mentioning, Free Comic Book Day, a lot of the stores will generally have maybe a couple or a handful of artists and writers show up at their stores on that day. So in addition to getting free comics, a lot of times you can meet some of the local illustrators because they're not all in New York. They're not all in California. Right. These guys all live in Texas. You've got a lot of talent here as writers and or artists. There are also various series of books that you go in and get at your comic book store and even at Barnes & Noble and stuff on how to draw or how to write. And they're not just generic how to draw. Sometimes there's some that are how to pencil, how to ink, how to color. So if you go in and talk to your retailer and ask them if they have any books like that, they can point you in the right direction. There's not a lot of books on it, but there are quite a few.
Actually, stay in school is a really good piece of advice because what if your dreams come true? How will you know how to handle it if you're only this smart and everybody else around you finished school and they're a lot smarter and they're taking advantage of you? So you really need your education in case your dreams come true.
Actually, I'm going to throw James out here under the bus. James is one of these people that, his characters, he has studied so much anatomy. And if you're like in school and learning art and learning anatomy and stuff like that, James probably knows more about drawing anatomy of the human body than most doctors.
Like textbook artists.
Anatomy is just like everything. There's rules to everything, and you have to learn those rules before you can break them.
That's it.
You know, and like Terry said, I draw every single day. You know, I get excited every morning. I can't wait to see what I'm going to come up with today. You know, and you know, I think we're all blessed here. We get to do what we love for a living. Not too many people can say that. So, but you know, it's if you love something, you're going to pursue it regardless. You know. In spite of having obstacles or having no help at all, if you love it, you're going to follow it. So it's just, you know, follow your passion. If you really, you know, think you have a career in this and you love the medium, you're going to pursue it whether you make any money or not. You know, and honestly, it's a hell of a lot of work for very little money. So I do try and discourage kids who think they're going to get rich doing this. Because ain't nobody up here rich, you know. In fact, I would go so far as to say as some of these people have day jobs even. So you know, you have to prepare yourself for it as well. You know, it's not all glamour. You know, 16 hours hunched over a drawing board every day, that's not glamour. So it is a lot of work.
Yes.
You see Gail Simone. That's our token woman.
Actually, the comics industry from a long time ago was really predominantly ran by men, but most of the business world was at the time. Over the years, the female participation at all levels in the industry has been growing. That said, even dating back to the 1930s and 40s, there were women working in the field. Ramona Fraden is one of the first ones I would mention. Marie Severin. Flo from the old Marvel bullpen, but there were a handful. Now there are a lot of women out there, and there is a huge talent pool of women. A lot of editors at the big companies are female. A lot of the artists. There is an artist out there, Jill Thompson, who does Scary Godmother, one of the funniest books. I love that book. So yeah, there's a lot of women. I highly encourage girls to think about getting into comics.
Mary Jane Strappy from Iran wrote a book about her experience leaving Iran. What did I say? Persepolis? Persepolis. Yeah. Mary Jane Strappy. And G. Willow Wilson did Flight and I believe
Air.
It was something like that. It was
About airplanes.
There you go.
Awesome.
It is awesome. But there's not many. There should be more. Our industry, as it evolves in the different mediums that people are going to be able to get instantly, are widening the pool of the audience. So hopefully there will be a bigger audience of people who want to hear the stories that only women can produce with their unique and great voice. And we'll see more of them.